Now moving on to California, where the trial continues for two police officers facing charges for the 2011 beating death of Kelly Thomas. This man, seen here. Thomas, mentally ill and homeless, was confronted by police officers on the night of July 5th, 2011. He was not guilty of any sort of crime. Officers were responding to a call about a man jiggling car door handles in a bus depot parking lot. What followed was a brutal beating at the hands of 6 Fullerton police officers. That beating was largely captured on video. Here it is. Throughout it, you can hear Thomas calling out to his father, calling out for help, saying the officers are killing him. Thomas died 5 days later in a hospital after he was taken off life support. In this video, the one you're seeing here, is now the primary evidence in use against 2 former officers who are now facing charges from this beating death. Manuel Ramos is charged with second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter, and former Corporal Jay Cicinelli is facing 1 count of involuntary manslaughter and 1 count of use of excessive force. A third officer, Joseph Wolf, is charged with involuntary manslaughter. He'll be tried in a separate trial. Now, the trial here is expected to last weeks, and it's a trial of particular importance because we've seen some troubling reports of police brutality emerge all around the country recently. There's DeParis Williams, a 20-year-old in San Francisco, who was stopped by police for riding his bike on the sidewalk on November 15th. The altercation quickly turned violent, as this video shows. Williams and 3 others were arrested, though Williams and his supporters say that it was the police who made the situation hostile. Williams went from the hospital to jail for 3 days, but charges against Williams were later dropped. The San Francisco police maintain they have the right to defend themselves, and no officers have been charged with wrongdoing. Or look at Lucinda White, a woman in Springfield, Illinois, who was tased by police while 8 months pregnant this April. And it was White who called the police in the first place after a fender bender. Springfield police stand by their actions, and there's been no charges against the officers in this case either. And you might remember this video of Dwight Harris, the man in the wheelchair, getting forcefully tackled by 2 Washington, D.C. Metro policemen in the spring of 2011. Police said Harris was drinking in public, though those charges against Harris were dropped shortly after this video was released. While Harris alleges that police used excessive force and he required stitches on his head, the police were not charged and they kept their jobs. Unfortunately, these examples can go on and on and on. But unlike in any of those cases just mentioned, in the case of Kelly Thomas, the officers are actually facing some charges. Police brutality is receiving one of those rare days in court, and we should all pay close attention to this case.